Not sure what this reading is going to be about, but I know it has to do with Mercury having moved into Pisces today from Aquarius, where it was in Aquarius, then retrograde in Aquarius, and then in Aquarius some more. And now today it has moved into Pisces, and it's funny because it's creating a stellium in Pisces that is juicy. Like, I don't know if anybody else is feeling this intense energy, but it's definitely a breath of fresh air. It's a welcome surge of energy after a long time being in hibernation mode, sort of. And I noticed something today too. This card, so this was really funny. Wow, there's a lot more smoke than I meant. Be careful of that because Pisces can definitely uh, lead to excess. Now, what's interesting is that's one of my carrot cards. And I remember, so I did a reading for my nephew yesterday. And now, usually, I'm pretty particular when I put my cards back. I have them, it's funny, I'll show you. I have them in a hat. It's a hat that I was wearing for doing readings for a while, and I love it. It just feels like my magic hat of tricks, right? My magic card hat. Now, but normally the cards usually go very easily into their places. Um, but when I went to look at the cards today, I was like, wow, these cards are messy. Like, somehow I cut one deck with another deck and then cut another deck with another deck. And I was like, well, okay, I'll go through these later and see if there's any meaning in this or if it's just weird. In any case, when I was looking at the front of the decks for a particular thing, I noticed just this one single card was all by its lonesome. Footprints in the snow. And it's card number 17, and I just went to run a couple of errands, and I'm seeing license plates and the different numbers that equal 17 like all over the place. That's the star card, and it's like, I mean, it's a really good omen. It's more so related to Aquarius than Pisces, but it's like wishes coming true, and it's balance, and it's really great receptive feminine energy. It's a really good manifesting sign. And I was thinking about it. The energy I've been feeling today is kind of this slightly sneaky energy, but it's like all around the sides of my throat. And I know that the readings that I just did were talking about throat chakra healing coming in and needing to be done. And like all year, there's been, myself included, a bunch of readers talking about needing throat chakra cleansing, well, in and out of the Twin Flame Collective. The and so it almost feels like a almost like a burning sensation. It's like there's a lot of movement, but it's not going anywhere just yet. And then what's funny is I keep like I put my phone down so that I don't play with it when I'm driving, but I have it to where I can see it in case my mom or dad or my boys reach out so I can pull over and check it. And I kept feeling like I was seeing a message come in, seeing a message come in, but there's no message. All right. At one point, I even pulled over because I was so sure that I saw a message that I pulled over to look at it and there was no message. And I was like, okay, well, then I'm going to assume that these are messages coming in. And what's funny is the minute that I just kind of went, okay, I'm just going to be comfortable knowing that I'm seeing these future echoes of messages coming in. It's a little weird, but it's not the first time and it's not that weird. So I'll just leave it and I'll just keep doing my thing. And if there's a message when I stop at the store or I stop at the next location, I'll check it. It'll be good. And what's funny is the minute that I let go of it, I'm like singing a song in the car, having fun, and then a bunch of messages come in. And I still feel like I thought, oh, maybe those are the messages. And it wasn't that. I mean, like those were messages coming in, but they weren't like, I don't think it's all of them. I think that there are more messages coming in. And since I'm a part of the collective as much as you are, that tells me that there's likely a lot of communication coming in. And what I know of Mercury and Pisces, and what I know of Mercury in Pisces, especially from the last few years, is that typically Mercury in Pisces, especially with a good Venus aspect, tends to bring in really thoughtful, emotional communication. It tends to bring in communication that has been held back for whatever reason, especially because, if nothing else, I mean, you might even look up and see, like, when was the last time that Mercury was in a water sign, right? So, I mean, we just came out of Mercury in Aquarius. Before that, it was in Capricorn, then it was in Sagittarius, and then it was in Scorpio. And so, look at when the last time it was that it was in Scorpio. Maybe think about what was going on for you then. And then you could take it back. When was it in Cancer? What was going on for you then? And then it was actually in Pisces about this same time last year, but it was retrograde. So we had Pisces, and then we had Pisces retrograde, and then we had Pisces again. So there was probably a lot of emotional communication going on then. And the interesting thing is that Pisces and Neptune both have this thing about dissolving boundaries. And so I would almost say that, oh, how would I even put it? It's kind of a funny, it's like a thing that you can't quite grasp, like a fish in water, you know? Um, it's like it will be similar to what you have seen before and also nothing like it. It's kind of sneaky and also yet right there in your face. It's something that you know intuitively already and yet also question. It's a lot of things, but I just get the sense there's a lot of communication coming in, and because of some other stuff that's coming in, I have a feeling if you've been thinking about sneaking away, it might be that. Maybe if you don't have a trip planned for doing something fun for yourself, even just some evening activities, get them in there. Like, this is a really good time to do that. And if it's not you, and you're pretty good with your routine and stuff like that, if you have somebody that you're thinking about that might be, yeah, I'd imagine especially somebody romantic. So they may either be sneaking away from a situation that they've been in, or they might be trying to figure out a sneaky way to communicate with you, almost to like take your temperature, like to see if you're even open to communicating with them before they send something out, or because of the because of the lack of boundaries when Mercury is in Pisces and it's direct, they might be, if they're normally the type to like test the waters, dip their toes in, like gently, like take the temperature, see if they like it, and then like back off if it's not what they want. Like, if they normally are like that, you might actually get a lot more communication from them than you would normally expect. And I mean, and or you might also be feeling the same way. Like, you may be feeling like communicating a whole lot to somebody else, in ways that you don't normally. And this energy is going to be going on for the next 3 weeks. I really feel like it's a portal, but I was trying to think of a name for it. It just wasn't there yet. So I'm going to do this reading. If it feels like changing the title to do a portal name or a gateway name, I will do that. But if it doesn't, then I won't. Maybe I'll do a different reading about a portal, because it does feel like we have a definite another portal coming on the spring equinox on March 20th, when we have the official Happy New Year of astrology. I'm going to put this card aside so we have it as kind of, I'm going to pull another card that's like our overall energy for this reading, but I think that is definitely an overall energy, or maybe like kind of, I don't know, it's kind of a sneaky energy too, but it's also not. Like, footprints in the snow are in the like a stowaway. They're obvious and yet not obvious. And I feel like that whole, like, I don't know, I really like when it freshly snows and then you go out and you crunch around in it. I like that. I don't know about anybody else. Some people really like snow. Some people really don't like snow. I don't know. Either way, let's see. Thank you, Spirit, for clearing and then charging this deck and bringing us an overall energy for, ooh, okay, for the Pisces. Okay, we got two. Adjacent possibilities and patience reversed. And it's interesting. Card number 24 and then card number 16. So I'll turn it upright for you. 16, which is Tower card in Rider 3, and 2 and 4 is 6. So that'd be the Lover's card. And I want to look at the book real quick, but I'm positive that this card, patience, when it's in reverse, means that you've already been patient. Like you already did that. Oh, interesting. Look at what's on the bottom of the deck right now. Temple Path 12. I'm just going to wing this. I'm going to learn from my youngest kid and just wing it and go with whatever feels like coming out right at the moment. So let's see, 16. Let's see, screaming kids. Maybe if you're dealing with kids, they might be a little bit moody, or someone that you're thinking about is getting out of a situation with like insanity that includes children too. Let's see. Patience. Peaceful redirection is the message when this card is reversed. Open up to the options available to you, even if they aren't yet totally clear. The universe supports you when you allow its influence to help direct your outcomes, and when you open your imagination to all of the potential solutions around you. The key is to keep moving forward without frantic need or urgency. By the way, keys have been a big sink lately. Don't give up on your goal. Initiation and renewed action are needed now. So keep an open eye to new and unexpected opportunities around you. You may be surprised where they lead. Affirmation: I pursue my goals with open receptivity. I am patient and flexible, willing to receive in many surprising and imaginative ways. And you know what? What's funny about that is I have been feeling like there's really not much open yet. Like some restaurants have opened up, but there's really not a whole lot of like things to do and stuff like that. But I'm like ready for it, which is so weird. I mean, I still need to be careful because of my body. I mean, it's still not quite 100%. And I mean, there's all sorts of other reasons to be careful, but I was just like, just screw it. I just want to go do something. I want to go for a drive. I want to sing in the car. I want to go, even if I can only hike for 5 minutes, now I got to sit for 15 and hike 5 minutes back to the car. I like want to do it, you know, and took my youngest son to the park earlier. And then we did, I mean, things are happening. There's movement happening. And I think, you know, it's funny. I think, didn't we have a reading where the action card came out a couple times? I don't know. I know that this patience card came out both in upright and reverse. So it's like, and with that time thing in there, it's like, I had an intuition, I want to say this last week, that was like, time is broken. And that kind of makes me think of that in reverse. Like, a cycle is broken. Maybe that's what it meant. Like a cycle has been broken, which kudo to those of you that may have put your foot down and said no more of some sort of crazy absurd cycle that you don't want in your reality anymore. Let's see, 24. 24, 24, 24 hours. Adjacent possibilities. Oh, you know what? Before I read this, I wanted to say I've seen someone else read this card, and like it's funny. So if you look at it, it's got, I love it because it's an absurdity card. It's got all these different doors in really weird places, and I can't remember if it's what I heard the other readers saying or if it's just my intuition, but what I feel like is this is one of those cards that's telling you to embrace the absurd. Like, you may think, like, let's say you've got someone you're in a no contact situation with, and you may feel like your only option is leave them alone or go bother them. But what if there's a third option? What if there's a fourth option? What if there's a door in the floor? Right? What if there's a door in the ceiling? What if there's a door in the wall? What if there's a door behind a door? What if there's a room behind a mirror? What if there is a mansion in the backyard and you can't see it because there's big trees there? Like, you don't know for sure what is really there or not there. And that's definitely big Pisces energy right there too. And also, I'm recalled to something I heard once, had like a door in the floor, like oh, what do you call it? An escape hatch. And I've seen a couple of vehicles today that were called escapes, and it made me think about, hmm, I wonder what that means. Like, who's trying to escape or what's going on? Or, like, am I escaping? I don't think I'm escaping right now. But I know Piscean energy is definitely, it's escapism, especially from responsibilities, obligations, things like that. We really want to play and be childlike and have fun and just feel the love in the air, and especially because we can all feel getting ready for Aries season to come in on March 20th. And that's like, well, it's still kind of childlike in a way, but it's more, I don't know. I want to say work. It's really not work. It's more like it's a different sort of play, if that makes sense. I don't know. I'm just going to leave that there, but I'm going to say that this energy is that if you've been doing good in manifesting the reality that you want to exist rather than necessarily focusing on the one that you have and don't like or something like that, then those adjacent doors that you have been so dutifully focusing on manifesting are manifesting. They're opening. And also, now that I think about it, there was another synchronicity earlier amongst my wonderful tribe about feeling like you're in front of a door and it's locked and you have like thousands of keys and you know that one of those keys opens the door, but you've tried all the keys and none of them open the door, but you know that one of those keys opens that door. And then I kept thinking about it and I was like, what's funny is that there's a lot of situations like that, and it's kind of like as if, okay, so the keys didn't open the door when you just stuck it in and tried to turn it, but some doors and some keys are a little sticky or a little old or they've got character to them. So maybe you need to pull down on the handle while you put the key in and turn it, or maybe you need to, or maybe maybe the knob's broken and you need to get a new knob, but you got the right key there. Maybe you put a new knob on there, and now you have to try to figure out what key it is. I don't know, but like it's looking at it like, okay, do you abandon the door because you've got 1,000 keys, and in order to figure out which key works, now you have to go through and try each key while lifting the door and turning the key. And then if that doesn't work, I mean, you could take each key and go, okay, lift, turn, push, or you could push it all the way in and then pull it out just a little bit and then try that. Or you could go through each key one by one and try that, push it all the way in, pull it out just a little bit. But either way, it's a task. It's a task and a half. Do you want that task? Do you want that contrast? Can you turn it into a game so that you can stay in a joyful place of gratitude while you are trying out each of those keys again? I mean, let's assume that you go through every method that you know of, and there is like one more way. There's another adjacent doorway, so there's another way to turn the key and do it. Like maybe it's something as silly and absurd as you put any of the keys in there, or maybe it's one of like 7 keys and you have to say, thank you for opening door, and then turn it to the left and push up and it opens. Like maybe there's just some absurdity that you wouldn't ever have thought of, but when you do it, like I used to have that happen. It's funny. I when I teach smudging sometimes, I talk about that. Like, if somebody can't get the coal lit or they can't keep the smudge going, it's like, well, did you say thank you to the fire? And most people, they get it. Like, they're like, oh, yeah, oh, no, I didn't think to do that. And then they do it, and then it works. And others are kind of like, what? What are you talking about? But and I genuinely believe that. Like, each energy is alive. Why not treat it in the way you would treat another person, right? And it's always worked for me. And I really could care less whether it's just my energy or coincidence or any of it. I like the magic of that. I like that kind of absurdity in my life. And if you don't like that I like that, well, then that's just about fine. Because you don't have to live that way. But this is what I mean, though. This is that Piscean energy. And there's another way. There's another door in the floor you're not seeing. There's a door in the ceiling or a door behind a door. There's something. And you want to, I think that patience in reverse card is saying that, like, be open to unexpected possibilities that you had never considered before. There might be all sorts of different ways. Hello, Ashley. I'm glad you agree. I like your name, Ashley the Great. Um, to, like, let it take you over. Let that, like, lovey-dovey, imaginative, childlike Piscean energy just wash over you and indulge in it, because you don't know what will happen. And this is like, Abraham talks about inspired action. Like, you should really only go to do something when you feel inspired to do it. If you're questioning, like, should I do this? Is this the right thing to do? Is it the right time? Like, don't do it. Don't do anything if you don't know what to do. And then when you feel inspired, and it, like, sometimes, even if it's a bad thing, or if it's a weird thing, or like you're just like, that seems like a really weird thing, did you do it anyways? And do it with a sense of curiosity. Like, even if it's something that you've done 100 times, like maybe you feel like going and getting a new washcloth to go put in the bathrooms, and you're pretty sure you already did it, and you're just like, you know what, I'm gonna do it anyways, maybe I need to change it. And then maybe you find some money that you forgot that you had, or that got wrapped up in the laundry, and when you pulled out that particular cloth, like, a bunch of them fell out, and then you found like $40 that you couldn't find a while ago, or that you forgot you even had and didn't know, and there it is, or there's just so many different things. You really can't discount the little stuff, especially with energy like this. Like, just do it. In fact, that's funny. That's been a synchronicity. A friend of mine's, youngest kid has but started that, and I keep, now there's a song that's called "Do It," and, like, in fact, it's funny, the Nikes thing, "Just Do It," like the, and then, man, yeah, there's been, and I'm pretty sure Elizabeth Kane, who's one of my favorite subscribers, as it says, has been saying when I put up, "Would you follow me on a Patreon?" Like, do it. So, like, that, I think that's very much this Piscean energy. Maybe I'll change the title of it to, like, the portal of do it, which is so fun too. Like, it, depending on which way you read that, it's a double entendre. Like, you could take it in a really weird way, you could take it in a benign way, like in a kinky way, any way you want. And for me, it feels like that, embrace the absurd, the Piscean energy, that childlike energy of, come on, do it. Like, not like a do it, like a forceful, but like, do it. See what happens. Like, what's the worst that could happen? Even if you land yourself in a pile of dew, worse could happen, right? So do it, right? So I don't know. I'm not officially recommending that, but if you feel inspired to do something, even if it feels weird, as long as it doesn't feel bad. I mean, I'm not even gonna say that. Maybe, if it feels bad, maybe you need to feel bad for a minute. Some Pisceans can really go to some really deep places. So if you need that too, just go with what feels right for you to do in the moment. Um, Adjacent possibilities, many unconsidered options. Upright, sometimes the force of habit keeps you stuck. Also, rabbits and rabbit proud. I think that's what it was. Anyways, yeah, sometimes the force of habit keeps you stuck and unaware of potentially healthier and happier choices at hand. Yet every moment gives you the option of a different door and to take and a different course, whether it's in your thoughts, behaviors, or major life decisions. Unlike the indecision card, which indicates confusion and vacillation about which course to take, the adjacent possibilities card is here to tell you that you have many options, and it's time to take a wider look at things. As you consider the many life choices available, you'll feel more and more empowered and motivated to make the decisions that bring happiness, strength, and forward motion. That's good, very chariot like. In terms of your goals, this card could indicate unknown and previously unconsidered ideas. Perhaps there's a marketing tool you haven't thought of, a connection you haven't tapped, or even an entirely different direction that would be more suited to you. Be cautious, be aware, and be flexible and willing to take new and different action now. And you know what? That reminds me, one of my Tribe Sisters, oh man, we totally started doing something the last year, and I've just loved it ever since, which is like, just do something radically different, just completely unexpected, just embrace the absurdity of that. Like, say that you're like, it could be as simple as you get up in the morning and you go to put on your typical, let's say, blue jeans and hoodie, and you're going to put on a beanie cap. Well, how about instead you put on a sun hat? That's really wild. Or you dye your hair, or you put on a like a hat, like the steampunk top hat that I have. You just do something completely different, and then for that day, any way that you talk to somebody, you talk to them in a just a radically different way. And it doesn't radically different does not have to mean incredibly different. It's really not a wide step. Like if somebody says something that normally trigger you, maybe this time you respond in a loving way, or maybe you don't respond at all, or maybe when people are talking to you, you look up. And you just see what happens when people talk to you while you're looking up. Or maybe while you're looking down, like just stare at their shoes until they're like, "What? Do I have something on my shoes?" And you're like, "No, I'm just doing something radically different." Like really play with it. I mean, Pisces energy, it's funny for me, it's much more of a like a great grandmother energy, but it's kind of in between things. Like it's in between the grandfatherliness of Aquarius and the infantry of Aries. And so it's all things, kind of an Enneagram 9 type sort of thing. It can chameleon into a lot of things, but it tends to most often settle in wonderful childlike energy. And it's kind of where our true heart sits. And so, like, do it playfully. Like, just pick something that's just silly. Why not? We get so locked up in doing all this stuff that's all about productivity, or I have to do this adulting thing, or I have all these obligations. But you know what? You got 5 minutes that you can do something completely absurd, and there's no reason for you not to do it. Even if you just do it by yourself. I don't know, walk around the house with your finger on your nose, just like this, and just see how you feel. Maybe that will create something you hadn't considered. Maybe it will draw your focus to something you did not see before, or it will change it to a different angle than you ever saw it before. Who knows? Even if you end up falling or banging your elbow, you never know what you might see if you do that, or what you might feel, or maybe that'll change the whole. If you hit your funny bone, that definitely changes the energy in your whole body. Why not? Why not? As I sometimes say, fuck it, let's try it and see what happens. All right, 16. I want to see if I'm right on this. Patience in reverse. Oh, I think I already read that. Yeah, peaceful redirection. Yeah, okay, good. So, with adjacent possibilities and patience in reverse. So, if we're looking at like these other options, these absurdity doorways opening up, as long as we are in that energy where we are open to them, we were available for joyful amazement and pleasant surprises and things happening in ways we may not, interesting. And I just saw 2727 on the clock, which is 99, which is 18, the moon. Interesting. In any case, we might not expect them to come from these places. So it's really important to be in an energy of expecting the unexpected. And in order to expect the unexpected, you must have at least a small foundation in being able to embrace the absurd, right? And embracing the absurd that could be something as simple as like doing the stuff I suggested, or as complex as imagining that you could be a millionaire. It could be like right in there, like with the twin flame stuff, imagining that, all of those connections and the soul bonds and the karmics and stuff like that. It could be all sorts of things. And this is funny because this is culminating a collection of things that I've learned over the last year, including that, like, even if you know everything, sometimes you have to get into an energy to where spirit wants to surprise you, because we're so delighted when unexpectedly pleasant surprises happen, but we can't have those happen if we're constantly in an energy of needing to know everything: the how, the why, the when, the what are they doing, who are they with, when are they coming, when's the job, what's the right job, all that stuff. Like, it's way different to recognize that you can know everything and you can do all that. But sometimes it's just easier if you're open to the unexpected. And then even keep in mind that sometimes negative responses and negative experiences are actually a positive indication of what you want. In fact, I've been seeing memes all over that's been talking about sometimes things don't go wrong because you're doing it wrong. Sometimes they only seem to be going wrong because you're actually doing it right, and that's changing things, and then it just shakes things up, and so other people get thrown off guard about it, and then you just give it time, just have faith. That's that song, gotta have faith, the faith, the faith. Oh, you gotta have faith, baby, right? And that song's been coming up a fair amount, and not in the 3D in my head. um, so this overall energy, this is funny actually. If you take the footprints energy and you put those in there, I mean, the footprints energy would really fit with that stowaway, the door in the floor energy, the sneaking off energy, and the adjacent possibilities. And then with the idea that like there's some redirection happening. Then if you took a leap of faith more recently and you weren't sure quite what would happen, maybe you embraced the absurd and did something completely, as a Monty Python says, a no for something completely different. Maybe you did something like that and you have not been sure if it was right or good, or did you screw it up 30-30 on the clock, and so that means that this is now this Mercury and Pisces energy, this do it energy, is bringing that in, especially if you can get into a place that no matter what you're seeing in the 3D, you can find faith in not knowing what is going on and also knowing what is going on. I'm not sure if I can explain that. So for right now, that's what you get. And I'm kind of curious about this Temple Path card. It's so pretty. Let's see. Oh, I need better lighting in here. And it's funny, right underneath there, this was in the Pisces season reading that I did, the Victory card. And right underneath that, no joke, Cornucopia. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, and I'm seeing from the cards I'm seeing underneath that, and this is even before I pulled cards for the specific reading other than the overall energies, it looks like it's probably a romantic situation turning around, and that's likely going to feel really good news. Now, let's see here. What do we have here? 12. All right. Temple Path, spiritual purpose and support. Receiving this card represents your own spiritual evolution. The winding path you are on leads to the blessed temple in a lovely garden, symbolizing the spiritual destiny your soul has had in mind for this lifetime. And I'm laughing because when I saw, was it 27, 27, 9, 9 is 18 is the moon. In the moon card, one of the things I learned when I did a tarot class last year is that there is a little path in the moon card. It's such a confusing card until you understand it, and it generally represents Cancer the most, but Pisces is the next really big energy of it. And the path in it is funny because when you can see it at the beginning of the card, it's this creek and there's a wolf and a dog and a temple and grass and a crawdad and just all sorts of weirdness in there. And then as the path goes forward, it's funny because you can always see the path ahead of you, but it starts to lose color and a little definition around it, so you can't necessarily see what's ahead that might be unfolding. You only know that the path is going, and what the message in that is to have faith in that all things are always unfolding in amazing ways. And um, let's see. Let's see. This card upright is here to tell you that what you're going through is now is all a part of your soul's process. You are on your karmic path and heading in the right direction, and the choices you make now are important for your personal growth and life lessons. The lights around the temple represent the spirit world, your family members and friends, angels and guides, all the loving spirit helpers who long to assist you. Call upon them now and be open to their wisdom and inspiration. This is a wonderful life expanding time, so keep in mind your personal priorities as well as your spiritual connection. Following your higher intentions will help you move your life forward in dramatic ways, and connecting with spirit and your higher self will have a wonderful influence on all that you experience. Affirmation: I open my heart to my spiritual truth and a deeper connection with spirit. Guidance and inspiration come freely and easily to me. That's really beautiful. I like that. Okay, now let's pull, I'm going to say 2 to 3 cards for Mercury and Pisces energy. Thank you, Spirit, for showing me some clarity on this strange reality. Ooh, Angel of Love in reverse, card number 49, 13. I'm feeling like if you are single and or waiting in something like that, that this is what I was talking about, that there's somebody else who is ending something. It's like there's been some sort of adjacent possibilities that have opened up. Maybe they've decided they don't care what anybody else thinks anymore and they're going to strike out on their own and try some new things and just be completely absurd for a minute. Or maybe the person they were with is like, you know what, I'm not even gonna fight this anymore. I'm just totally done. Or maybe that. I mean, it's love. I'm gonna stick with the love stuff. I was gonna say maybe it's a business thing. Maybe, well, okay, maybe somebody that previously you wanted to have their help in starting a business or doing some sort of a project, or like maybe a music studio or an art studio or something like that. Maybe like they have all the skills you need, but they have not been available, or they've like wanted to do something with you, but now they're available. Now they have the space and the room and the time and the energy, and they don't have whatever negative relational heart water cup thing going on. Gosh, that's Pisces energy. I swear I haven't even smoked a bowl today. Um, hmm. Okay. Let's see. Can we get 1 to 2 more cards, please, Spirit? Clarify. Clarify and testify. Let's just see what's going on here. These cards are just like, turn me, shuffle me, squeeze me, throw me around, pull my hair a little bit. Oh. And of course, as I say that, then 2 cards come out, and I'm laughing. Look what's on the bottom now. The door to spirit. Oh, nice. Right underneath that, the thinking man in reverse and caring connections. Something tells me if you've had kind of a hanged man in reverse situation, or a um, Knight of Pentacles, either upright or reverse situation, where you've been waiting on somebody to get a move on and speak their mind, it seems like they've likely found the door to spirit and are opening up. And I'm pretty sure that that was a main card in the last DM reading that I did. So maybe check those out. Now, oh, interesting. Okay, so the cards that we got: Woman Holding a Heart in reverse, 44. And card number 39, fifth chakra, Archangel Gabriel. And the fifth chakra is the throat chakra. Wasn't I just talking about that stuff? And it is also in reverse. So we have, it's almost scary, but I'm feeling like these are good messages though. So Angel of Love in reverse, Woman Holding a Heart in reverse, and the fifth chakra in reverse. You know, it's funny too, just knowing what the other, this is where it's a good thing to know about astrology. And then we have the adjacent possibilities. We have the footprints in the snow. We have patience in reverse. I'm smelling a fight. Oh, this, you know what? If you have not yet watched the reading I did called War of Roses, in fact, I see what this is. Look at this. Look at this. We have a masculine with a throat chakra problem sandwiched in by 2 feminines, one who is an angel of love, and she's in reverse, and a woman holding a heart in reverse. Who knows which one is which? Maybe one of them is you, maybe not. Let's see. I know I've read that the woman holding the heart. I've not yet read the Angel of Love, but I actually am curious. So if Door to Spirit is on the bottom, that is like our under all energy. So most of us are learning to access the Door to Spirit, which is very Piscean. It totally makes sense. And because Mercury is about communication and oh, that makes sense. So if you've been experiencing a lot, it's funny. So the what were we talking about? About the whole being open to adjacent possibilities? The song on the radio right now is better than I imagined, right? So expect the unexpected. Imagine that it could be better than you imagined. Um, in any case, if you've been noticing strange tech problems and you're like, but it's not Mercury retrograde or Uranus isn't retrograde, there's no weird angles to Mercury. I mean, if you're into astrology, like there's nothing that would really explain it except that when Mercury is in Pisces, Pisces is one of the most spiritual placements that you can get for any planet or anything on there. In fact, a lot of people that have, like, say, Mercury in Pisces or Venus or Mars in Pisces or things like that, Moon in Pisces, they typically have very strong psychic gifts, spiritual gifts. Um, Oh, interesting. Okay. But yeah, that might explain it actually. And that would explain like the like seeing text messages coming in before they've come in kind of thing for me earlier. So if you've had any weird intuitions like that, this is a good time. Just embrace the absurdity. Even if normally you just go, "Oh, I'm just tired." At this moment, play with it. Just do it. So the card on the top, the overall energy, is woman holding a coin. Card number 42, 6. So I'd say the decisions. Somebody who, and it could be an earth sign or it could simply be somebody who is in charge of money, has to make a decision. And this is the, she may have a cat or there may be an emotional connection with the cat. Um, and she's very royal. She's very regal. She knows she may be a bit theatrical, but she's not. Well, I mean, she could be theatrical or dramatic. It depends because I could see this being the two women. Like these are this is an aspect of both of them, but because we're in the funhouse mirrors and the karmic carnival, they could be a bit distorted. Um, but I'm having a sense that there's. I mean, this is hot topic, so this has to do with feminines and money and some sort of masculine, likely in the middle of it all. Let's see what's in the heart of the matter, which is literally in the middle of the deck. Oh, interesting. The thinking woman in reverse. 47, which is 11, and it's funny because I just saw a time a minute ago that was said 11. So we've seen, because is it? Yeah, okay, yeah. Look, what's right beneath the underall energy? The thinking man. What's in the heart of the matter? The thinking woman. I have a feeling I am seeing a feminine person, regardless of gender, who stopped investing, who stopped investing in a situation where they were overgiving. It's likely that it drained them emotionally, and they knew that they needed to conserve their energy and put stuff elsewhere, and likely for because of a masculine, regardless of gender, who was not communicating in healthy ways. Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Interesting, right? So I want to see this angel of love. I know fifth chakra in reverse. It's a good time to work on open up your chakras. So if you like to sing in the shower, in the rain, in the park, at your job, wherever, it's a good time for that, as is speaking your truth, standing in your truth. Um, Woman holding a heart is somebody who is afraid to speak their genuine emotions and or who is dealing with somebody who is, let's just say, either emotionally toxic or emotionally constipated, one of the two. So if you feel like that's you, work on that. If it's not you, then it's probably not you, and it's probably somebody else that they're dealing with. Now let's look at this, and this card relates to 13, so it's definitely like death transformation related. 49. It's funny because I ended up turning to to page 13 because I was thinking of 13, and that's financial constraints. So again, we're seeing another theme with money stuff. So it may be that if you've created, it's 808 now too, which is 16. If you've created a situation like maybe you had to take back some loans, or maybe you needed to get child support, or maybe you just stopped. Maybe if somebody was asking you for money a whole bunch, you stopped giving it. You had better boundaries. Somehow you had better boundaries, and that has created financial constraints, and it kind of gives the like, and you're also not investing in a situation as much as you were. So maybe that's kind of that energy, because I'm not getting off this card. I mean, angel in love in reverse still seems like the angel of love, and doesn't necessarily give me the energy in this moment of somebody who is mad, just somebody who is not like fawning or like throwing love at you, or it's even like tough love. Like it's still love, but you're having better boundaries maybe with somebody who need to have better boundaries with, and they're like, this doesn't feel the way I want it to feel. I'm used to having people chase me and tell me and beg for me to do stuff, and now that's not happening. Angel of love, tender connections. In the reverse position, the angel of love could indicate a possible disconnect in matters of the heart. While this sometimes signifies a divorce or separation, it could also imply an emotional rift where two people stay connected on a superficial basis, yet at a deeper level seem to be going their own ways. In this position, the angel can also refer to an old separation if the longing remains alive in one partner's heart. If you find yourself unable to let go, this loving angel is telling you it's time to release any toxic or unrequited attachments you may be holding onto. The universe is waiting for you to free your heart and open your life to the fully present and honoring love that you so rightly deserve. So look in the mirror and see the angel of love there with you. Know that you are worthy of this tender emotion from yourself and others. Affirmation: I love and value myself without limitation or condition. Tender, loving treatment comes to me in wonderful and unexpected ways. See, we're seeing another pattern of that. Expect the unexpected. And keep in mind too that, like, say the unrequited love situation, it seems on the surface to be what you're fairly positive is a twin flame relationship. Sometimes you got to embrace the absurd, and maybe it's that when you release that connection, I mean, they talk about it all the time, when you release that, when you really allow it to die, just being theatrical, when you just really let it go, that's when you get a truly new beginning. And falling back in love again is something that can happen, and it happens a lot. So that could very well be going on in there. But I think that the main bit of that is the first part, where there's a connection to where on the surface there's two people that are like portraying that they have a really cool awesome relationship, but they've really been drifting very very far apart on the inside. And I think that's why we hit the only masculine figure we have in there is in reverse. Like, somebody else has his heart, whether it's the angel or the woman holding the heart, we do not know, but he has got two figures there, and he's not sure what to do with them. And this could just be you too. I mean, it could be the masculine side of you that's feeling like you need to take an action, you're not sure what action to take, and you're torn between this like spiritual love connection and a more, what feels like a more logical 3D love sort of connection, maybe something that you're used to. But what I'm going to say is that if whether you're the person who's, whether you're one of these feminines or you're the masculine, if you're in a situation like this where you have, oh, see, I don't even know, because you know what, only you can know. Only you can know. And recognize there's always adjacent possibilities. You may feel like you've only got these two choices. Maybe there's another choice. Maybe instead of choosing one of these two women, this guy decides to go be single and explore things on his own for a while. And then he reaches the door to spirit. He gets out of the like weirdness of constantly overthinking things, and then he sees the way. And then And then I'm hearing that song, the storm is over now, and I can see the sunshine above the clouds. Also, I want to say in my deck and my son's deck, this card keeps popping up, which is very Piscean, and it's usually about taking somebody's temperature emotionally and maybe offering a small apology. All right, I'm going to pull a couple of Rider Thwaite cards and let's just get a little bit more clarity on what's going on here. And I don't know what to expect because I'm not going to know. I'm liking this joyful amazement, pleasantly unexpected things going on. And I'm loving it. The song on the radio is that Neo So Sick song. I'm so sick of love songs. Ooh, look at that. That's the dissolution of a home situation that looked happy on the outside and was not, and also likely false flame. Let's see, what else we got here, Spirit? Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, all right, all right, all right. They're speaking today. We got 5 cards, and then I'm laughing because this is on the bottom, and it's like definitely done. Wow, look what's right underneath that, the tower, too. Like, done, done. That's like literally like done and done. Or like big tower, done. Like that, the last straw on the camel's back before the camel went, fuck y'all, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. No, I definitely don't like you. I'm leaving. And look at this. The single feminine card. And even between, like, the 9 of Cups I consider it the single masculine card, but this is the single card. Like, the single card in the deck that almost everybody sees as a single. And I mean, it's funny, these other cards I'm seeing, the only masculines in them are by themselves. So we got the 8 of Pentacles in reverse, which is breaking a commitment. One that you probably invested a fair amount of time in, but it was not the new beginning that you thought it was. Somebody took a leap of faith. They thought that they were going to be getting in a strong, good commitment, but it wasn't. However, it did teach them a lot about themselves, and now they're feeling strong enough. They feel like they can manage themselves enough. Maybe you feel like you can manage. Maybe you feel like you've gotten a little bit stronger hold over your impulses. Maybe you feel like you've got better boundaries, or maybe that's something you're working on right now. Maybe you've decided to start a garden and you're like, I'm going to put my energy into this, or whatever it is. That's a really good thing to be doing. And I think it's overall, it's definitely a highlight in feminine. We have 2 feminines, but then we also have, well, it's funny. So technically, this is the only masculine card because the Fool is often considered androgynous. So we have 2 feminines, a masculine, and an androgynous, non-binary individual. Yeah, and I'm really feeling like the order of this is Strength, 9 of Pentacles, 8 of Pentacles reversed, and the Fool reversed. And yet also like it's also Fool reversed, 8 of Pentacles reversed. So maybe it's 2 timelines. So there's one kind of feminine person who found their strength and said, you know what, I'm gonna glow up, because this can also be like a blogger card. It can, I mean, the way she's looking, maybe you got on YouTube, or you started a blog, you wrote a book, or you're planning to. It's a glow up card, especially feminine, but doesn't have to be feminine. Like masculines do that too. Tarot is only so flexible. Or I should say tarot is extra flexible, and it's great. But that happened, and it happened because of a broken commitment, broken promises, a situation that was invested into with an immature, naive person who still has to go through the major arcana at least once more. The other timeline that I'm seeing is that a masculine figure, and maybe it's both, a masculine figure has broken a commitment, or a commitment has been broken with them. A cycle has ended, a karmic cycle that they probably never thought they could get out of, or didn't see that they were putting themselves in continuously. They're seeing it now, and they realize that they've been young and naive, and they probably lined themselves up with people who were young and naive, and it was kind of one of those everybody else is jumping off the bridge, so I have to too. No, no, you don't. And so they've learned to temper themselves. They've learned to deal with some anger problems. They kind of found the beauty and the beast within themselves. And now they're single and probably watching a single feminine or thinking about emulating a single feminine who they see as very strong. And because we have the Four of Wands in reverse, I'm going to say it's likely a twin flame. Well, okay, this is for anybody, but it's likely some kind of connection that is one that has a very strong foundation that is not necessarily seen on the surface, and a connection that looks stronger on the surface or has looked stronger on the surface, and it's now poopy. That's the best word I'm gonna give it, is poopy. Oh, that's funny. That song, Mariah Carey's Fantasy, is on. Sweet, sweet fantasy, baby. Right? Sweet, sweet fantasy, baby. Now let's look in the bottom. I'm curious. So 10 of swords in reverse is on the bottom. That's underlying energy. And it makes sense with that woman holding the heart in reverse and the angel of love in reverse and the masculine with the throat chakra thing going on in reverse. Somebody was betrayed and stabbed in the back. Like I'm seeing a situation like, I mean, I think everybody got betrayed and stuff like that. And somebody, whether it was you or somebody else, said, you know what? I'm going to do something completely different, and I'm going to level up. I'm going to be open to adjacent possibilities and try to noodle this a little bit and do it a little bit different. And that created kind of a domino effect. And now there's likely some masculines who are like, somewhere in between grieving the loss of an old cycle that it's not that they wanted it, but they were used to it. And now everything's different. Like, you changed everything up. Everything's all completely different. And they're like, they have gone through, because of whatever you did or whatever they did to you, or all of it. It seems like there's just a lot. That so many towers. I'm really literally, what I'm seeing is each of these swords was a tower, and like 10 towers all at once, like, you know, like, seriously. I mean, that's blood coming out of him there. Sometimes it seems like it's a cape. It's kind of weird, but it's blood. Like, that's it's like beyond done. It's like somebody done burnt the steak so bad you can't even chew it no more. It's done. You just need to throw it away, and that makes sense for this. This would also be kind of a tower kind of moment. And behind that, oh look, the thinking man, right? That's the Seven of Pentacles. Right underneath that, Seven of Cups, Ace of Cups reversed. There's our single fellas there, and they're wishing and wanting, wishing and hoping and thinking. Doo doo. Okay, and then the High Priestess reverse. So somebody was doing some not good magic, and they were using secrets inappropriately in a spirit of trying to hurt others. Likely to hold on to a bratty king who did not want to be there to keep instability. Maybe hold on to somebody else's divine masculine. And that situation is done. Spirit came in and said, enough. Lit a bush on fire and said, enough. Oh, what, weren't we talking about that moon card earlier? And look, I can see the sunshine on the clouds. Yep, messages coming in soon, likely from somebody who's learned to be a lot more grounded in their energy, and they want to make something better with a woman who is, well, her heart hurts. She's bruised but not broken. Her heart hurts. And she's likely not been talking to him, or you've not been talking to him, or he's not been talking to you. Whatever it is, the star has brought enlightenment to the hermit through the lightning that hits the crown at the top of the tower. Let's see what's at top. Oh, didn't we have that one? Yeah, 49, which equals 13, which is death, right? But death in reverse. So the hot topic is an issue that has. I'm curious, what was the hot topic? Yeah, woman holding the coin, death. Which card was it? It's the angel. Yeah, the angel of love. Yes, some sort of thing that happened probably recently, within the last couple of months. Um, it ended a cycle. This card is an end to a cycle. It's about ascension. Like one of the things that people like to point out is if you look at what the guy, it's kind of hard to see. Look at what his hand. Let's see if I can get my hand out of the way. Look at the shape of his hand. Okay, he's making a certain symbol. I believe it's like this. No, it's supposed to be like this or something like that. I looked it up one time. It means ascending. It's ascending. So this is an awakening right here. It's the end to an old cycle because an awakening has occurred. And with the tower right behind it, that is like a double yes. An old cycle has been broken. You have successfully broken an old cycle, whatever that means for you. And the Angel of Love card even talked about that. Like, break that cycle. If there's unreciprocated love, I don't care if it's your twin flame, your spouse, your partner, a random person. If they're not reciprocating, have good boundaries and just put an end to the cycle. And just have faith. If it's meant to be, then they will reflect and ascend too. And also, now that I think about it, this feels like it fits in with this portal of remembering energy too, because this is very much like the shamanic death of dismemberment, right? All just cut it all up. And it reminds me too, something shared with me was the story of Isis and Osiris. Look it up because she called in her partner. She remembered him. That might be good for some of you. Now, in the heart of the matter, oh, look, another tower. Five of Cups in reverse. All those cups got kicked over. All of them got kicked over. Just all of them. Just death. Death. Tower. Ending of cycles. Kicking over the cups. But you know what's right underneath kicking over those cups? New beginning. An ending to a kind of nightmare situation, end to the silent treatment, end to the stopping and healing. I think this is pretty awesome news for this Mercury and Pisces stuff going on here. I think I'm going to end it there. Just do it. That's right. Do it. Just do it. I'm just going to go with that. My friend's young daughter, and she's just so awesome. She's also a type 8. And as am I on the Enneagram, and I just love that energy. Just do it. Just do it. And there was that song, just do it, do it, do it. Anyways, all right. I think I'm going to go follow my divine inspiration and just see what happens. I hope that you do the same. You're welcome, Ashley. Thank you for being my wonderful soul commenter on here. And thank you to everybody else watching. I can see that there are more of you watching. Hello out there, wallflowers. And hello to everybody who watches this video later. I'll catch you in the next video.